Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. Hopefully you can hear me. Okay, sorry. Trying to make everything work. Today's one of those days. I've had a day. Chance. Yes. Come here. Oh, there he is. Okay. Hello, Purple Nana Linda. Hi, Joan. Hi, Melody. Hi, Peggy. Hi, Nanette. Hello, hello. Hi, Linda. Hi, Evelyn. Linda Patrick. Hi, Sherry. And Jessica. There you are. It's letting you watch again? Good. That's good. Jessica, that's good. Jessica is Warner's grin. Oh, anyway, some days. Trying to communicate with Race about what's happening. Anyway, it's good to see you guys. I'm glad you're here. You know, when everything functions properly, it's effortless. When there's a fly in the ointment, yeah, everything's not so effortless. Then hi, Becky. Hello, Mickey. When that happens, then what happens to me is I'm like, okay, and now to troubleshoot this particular thing, because sometimes I don't know where to start. So I get everything done that I know how to do, which is not a lot, admittedly. And then it's like, Race, help, help. Anyway, the big computer seems to be functioning okay. So it goes. And Chance is here, wanting to be up here, and then he gets up here and he wants down. What would you guys like to do today? I don't really have a plan today. Do any of you have something you'd like to do? I have out a couple of art journals that we could do something in, I think. I hope you're doing well. It is an absolutely gorgeous day here today. Sorry, Race is still communicating with me. Race is communicating. Pardon me. For which I am very, very grateful, because he is my guru, except he's a long way away. I am going to be gone for vacation for quite a few online streams. I will be gone. So, shall I tell you when they are so you'll know? Quit. All right. if you guys want to know, you can write this down if you care. If you don't care, know that I'm coming back. I'm just going to be gone for a while. I will not be here on the 19th or the 23rd or the 26th or the 1st of March or the 4th of March or the 8th of March or the 11th of March. I will be back on the I'll be back on the 15th of March. Okay? So today is the 9th. I will be here on the 12th and the 16th, I think. Yes, I will be here on the 12th and the 16th. But I'm going to be gone all those other stream dates. You can catch up on the ones that they've missed. The zine that I showed with the extra page. What was in it? What was the subject of it? I don't remember. Thank you. I am looking forward to it. It is a trip of a lifetime. I'll tell you all about it when I get back. Boy, I look like a ghost. Let me turn off the light or shut the window shade. There, I look a little bit more like myself. Yeah, so. Thank you, Joan. I know, Evelyn, I am going to be gone for a long time. Yeah, so. But I will be here this Friday and next, what did I tell you? So I'm here today. And I'm here next Monday and next Friday. Okay, that's when I will be here. And then after that, I won't be back until March 15th. Okay? And you don't remember what was in it. The way I cut it and folded it. Don't remember. I don't remember. So sorry. I just don't remember what it was that was in it. If I knew what was in it, I might be able to go back and recreate it. How about some art journaling? Thank you, Sherry. I will. Oh, chance. I think before I get started, I'm going to have to put him away. I think I will have to do that because he's being especially obnoxious today. Maybe we'll do some art journaling today. I have my bag of stuff here, so maybe we'll do some art journaling using whatever I've got on hand, which doesn't mean that we'll be doing anything from start to finish, just mostly just kind of playing around. Let me put him away first. Art journaling sounds good? Okay. Well, he's going to have somebody staying with him, so he'll be all right. Yeah, he'll be okay. Maybe he'll be quiet now, you think? You think? Oh, shoot. Yeah, hopefully he'll be fine. I just hope both animals are okay till I get back. You know, the thing about animals, they're both old. both dog and cat, are old. And because they're old, being gone for that long, I've had to accept the fact that when I get back, they might not be here. And that's really hard, but it's the sad, hard facts of animals this age. So we're just going to hope that they're okay. But if they're not, anyway, we'll just move on. We'll move on. Okay, so I thought we'll peek through this journal that I started a while ago, and we'll peek through this, and maybe we'll get the book that I have that has art journaling things in it. I'll get out of the picture so you can see a little better. That has art journaling prompts and stuff in it. Maybe we'll work through some of the prompts. So this was a book that I did several months ago, and this is a junk journal, so it's just got different kinds of things in it. I also bought a book on Bible journaling. Maybe I'll get that and we can take a look at that. I really haven't done anything with it because I just bought the book, so maybe we'll go through that and go through some of this. I'll show you what I was working on yesterday in here, trying to find it. This I've just added some color in the background just to do it. This is the little girl that I put a head on. Poor thing. Her neck will come off one of these days, unfortunately. So I just added color on here. The color I put on here, I used these water aquacolor, high quality aquacolor crayons. So that's what I put in here. So that's why it has such a crayon look to it. Hello, Christy. Good to see you. Hey, Shelly. Shelly has a birthday coming up. Tell Shelly happy birthday. She has a birthday happening. A lot of these I was just doodling, adding backgrounds to it. This was one we could take this and add something to that. That might be a possibility because this is just the crayon stuff on it. I'll post it here. Maybe we'll come back to this. Hello, Carol. Hi, Shue. Oh, thank you, Christy. Thank you. Yeah, the trip that I'm going on, quite honest, if I was honest with you, it's kind of like going on the honeymoon first. I know, right? We could interpret it that way. Yeah, so somewhere in here is the page I worked on. It'll show up eventually. A lot of this is just doodle things that I added in here and just stuck on various bits and pieces of things that were hanging around on my desk, which is kind of the point for me of a junk journal. This is a drawing that I haven't inked yet. Sorry, you guys. And that's a tag I'm going to stick in there somewhere. Dessert first. Yep. Oh, nice. Shelly got an amazing new art table and a vintage typewriter. How cool is that? Where'd you get the typewriter, Shelly? And how did the sale go that you had going on to benefit Janet? I hope it turned out really well. We can talk about it later or whatever. And a farting airplane. Hello, Tori. Oh, somewhere here is the page I was playing around with yesterday. Sorry, I don't know what all of a sudden crawled up my nose. Probably cat hair. These are just some random well, this was a sticker that I think Nanette, are you the one that sent me all these? I think it was. Oh, he found it on Marketplace. Nice. Nice. And does it work? Here's the rest of the farting airplane, or some of it. Little girl balancing a stack of mandalas on her head. Oh, here's what I was working on. This is what I was working on yesterday. This was a couple of pages where I stamped out the set of stamps that I bought. And I also, the same time that I bought the stamps, which these were the stamps, they were actually Bible journaling stamps. They're still on my desk in a pile. No, I'm not packed. Are you kidding me? Why would I be packed? I don't leave for another weekend and 2 days. Why in the world would I bother packing yet? If I pack, I won't be able to live. Anyway. So anyhow, this is what I did. So I just used a new stencil I had, and I used some of these stencil butters from the Crafter's Workshop that I smeared through the stencil. This one I did not even do a good job on. A friend of mine loaned me some outfits, and so I just picked them up. And so I'm going to try them on. She is much shorter than I am, and so we're going to find out whether they will work for me. If they work, that will be great because they don't weigh very much. And so we'll see. I don't know. All right. So let us play around with some of this stuff. Okay. And here's my color wheel, which I was going to have on hand in case I needed it for reference. So I have color wheel on hand, and then I have the rest of my stuff that I had taken with me when I went to a class. It was a book club, actually. So let me get a container of water, and then I have some water-soluble pastel painting sticks. And so we may use some of that or some watercolor. I don't know. We'll just play with this. Let's see what happens. Since I started this, maybe we'll just play around with it and see if anything comes of it, huh? Okie doke. Let us take a look at this page. So if you have any questions, stick them in the chat. Hopefully things will work out so that I can keep up with you guys. I am having internet issues today. Yes, I am. My broadcasting computer is working fine. It's the chat computer that's having a problem at the moment. So every so often I'm going to just put in a test just to make sure. So yeah, these are the Charvin water-soluble pastel sticks. So pastels are like chalks, but these are water-soluble. And I've played with these a little bit, but it has been a while. It has been a fat minute since I did these. And I think there's 2 trays. Yep. There's 2 trays of these. So there's this. This is the set of colors on the top level. Hi, Barbara. Hi, Vale. Good to see you. Hi, Angie. And this is the set on the bottom level of this particular set. And this has 48 colors. They were very reasonably priced, I thought. I got these from Jerry's Artorama. Sorry, man. Brain just wasn't going to work there for a minute. So we have 2 levels of colors here. And I think we'll just play around with those. But they're really quite interesting. So these have been water activated. And for normal pastels, they will rub off. And there's very little, maybe a little bit, where I didn't activate all the way with the water. But for the most part, they stay put. And that's unusual for pastels. Chalk pastels. So anyway, let's play with it and just see what happens, shall we? Okay. All right. So I'm just going to put these off to the side. And I'll just put this journal here and put these off to the side. And maybe on some of this detail stuff, we'll use a water brush. These are not ink tints. No, they don't work the same as ink tints. The ink tints is much more intense, and they are permanent. I would never, and you can use them on fabric. These I would not trust on fabric. All right, water in the water brush. And the ink tints pencils are a lot more intense, or ink tints anything is a lot more intense than these are. These do have much more of a chalk appearance. Okie doke. Let's see what happens, shall we? These are just smudges. In the background, these are just smudges from the stencil butter. And I went back and added on the stencils, I just used an ink pen and went around them. And so maybe what we'll do is use some more of the use the chalk pastel, water-soluble pastel. And let's go over this again. I've already gone over it once. And so just add another coat of paint. And this is where, you know, I just doodle with this stuff. You know, I really don't have a plan. These flowers, I know, they would not logically grow from this tree trunk that has these little made up somethings down here. I don't know what these are, but there's butterflies, so it can't be all bad. So I'm just painting with these water-soluble pastels. You also can paint using regular pastels, you know, inexpensive, like kids type pastels. You can paint with those. I've done that in the past. I've used them with stencils, and you just kind of have to play with the concept, play with the idea, and test your paper and everything that you're using, just so you can see whether the pastel stays on the paper or whether you need to fix it with a spray fixative of some kind. The advantage of using water with the pastels like this, especially you know, these are meant to dissolve with water and use like paint. The advantage is that you don't have the dust that normally you get with pastels. All right, so I'm just trying to blend this because this, I don't know what this was. Maybe that was from the actual stamp. Yeah, it was. So this is actually that stamp, and that's very solid. So that was brown ink that I used. So that's what's down here is brown ink. So all I'm doing is just seeing if I can kind of blend this, because the part up here at the top is the part I drew. So I drew this part just so I could have a way to make those flowers kind of connect to the tree for whatever reason. These were just magazine images one image, and I just cut pieces and parts out of it. And what I was doing here was using an opposite complementary colors on the color wheel. And so my complementary colors were orange and blue, or a form of blue. So it was a lighter orange and yellow and a blue turquoise kind of in here. So there were complementary colors, because that's what makes colors sing the most, is when you use the complementary colors. Yeah, those stamps are, they're from a Bible journaling set of some kind that I got when I went out to the book club that I belonged to. So I'm just going to add a little bit more red to these hearts here. And then we'll just, once I kind of get my bearings, then we'll just go for it and add. Here's the deal for me about art journaling. It really is about any kind of form of creativity. It takes some time to get your rhythm going. And often we get super frustrated that our creativity is not, that you're not pooping stuff out on command. And so if you just are not committed to the outcome and just start moving your hand, gluing something down, painting a little bit, if you just start doing that, often your creativity will kind of come to life, as long as you don't have too many expectations. Don't make your expectations too high, So I'm just sticking in a little bit of green down here at the bottom. The pen, all this is a permanent pen work that I've worked with. And if you really want your colors to show up a lot brighter, then use something other than the pastels. The pastels are going to be pretty faded, pretty light. And if I want more color than this, this does seem awfully light. This is probably good for the background, but not so good for what I'm doing here at the moment. So let me get these, which are aqua color crayons, watercolor crayons. Let's get these. These are in a slip case, which is so tight. And I would not leave the slipcase on it, except for the fact that I was given this set of these crayons when I was at the Craft and Hobby Association, whatever that. They've renamed it so many times. I was there in 2018, and one of the companies gave this to me, Creativation, that's what it was. The Ticonderoga people gave me this set of watercolor crayons. So let's use this. So I'll just have both of these out. How's that? How's that grab ya? All right, let's see if we can make this work a little bit better. These are kind of cracked up. Let's see if this will work. It's one of the great ways to get to know your supplies is to play with them in an art journal. See what they do. And if things don't turn out the way you wanted them to, it's a great time to just move on and try something else, right? So I'm just sticking in some green. I'm just going to kind of make this all one great big stem, even though it's got some different indicators of stems in there. And I'm just going to put some of this down here to deepen this. So the light colors from the pastels kind of in the background, and then we've got some lighter colors back there and darker colors in the foreground. All right, and then how about let's go to a light green. Hi, Amber. I don't know that they're as good as Neocolors. Neocolors are really hard to beat. The Neocolor 2 is pretty hard to beat. If you have Neocolor 2s, you would not need to have these also at all. Definitely wouldn't need to have these. These leaves right here that I'm putting some color on, those were stamped in the brown color, so I'm just trying to tint over the top of those with a little bit of green just to kind of give them a little bit of color. And I'm come back to this one and add a little bit more of this up here on the stem. Stem area. Okay, and then we have some butterflies in here. And since I'm staying in kind of the orange and blue opposites, I'm going to pick up these two of these crayons. And we'll play with the butterflies here. But all of these are stamped. Everything that's on this section right here, that all came on the stamp. So from this point right here where my thumb is all the way down, and it went down to there was about 1/4 of an inch from the bottom where it stopped. That's why there's a flower over here, because you just kind of make it up as you go along. Or at least I do. Oh, and there's a heart I missed. And I've found that you can layer the colors up with these, just like I can layer the colors up with watercolor. You can layer the colors to get them more intense. Now there's a section here of the stencil butter where part of the stamp is over the stencil butter, and that if that color sticks, it's going to be kind of miraculous. Yeah, kind of miraculous, but that's okay. All right, we'll put a little tiny bit of this orange in here. Hey, Ruth. Hello, ARH. Happy birthday to you. I missed another heart. Apparently I can't see totally. Sometimes you look at things and you go, could I not see that there was a heart? Apparently not. There's another one peeking out back here. We're only going to put that tiny little bit of that one in there. Okay, so maybe use the yellow, because I think I just used the orange. Put a little yellow in here for the rest of the butterfly wings. So my whole thing as I was playing with what I did on this yesterday was just to see if I could make this whole thing of all these mishmash things where I've just tested things out, just to see if maybe I could make them work together. And so I don't know whether it's going to work or not. We'll find out. We will find out. Okay, so maybe what I'm going to do is let's put in some background color. And we'll see what happens here. We'll see what happens. I'm going to just clip that. The clips are there, just keep the book open. Hey, Darla. There you go. Space to make painty papers. How much better could it be than that? Okay, I'm going to switch to a regular brush here. So it's just a regular painty brush. And I'm going to add some water. I'm not going to try, now who knows if it'll happen, but I'm not going to try on purpose to slop water up on top of my my flower image there. I'm just going to try and get some water on this page. This is watercolor paper, I think. I believe it is, so we'll hope. We'll hope. And we'll see what happens. So I'm just trying to put some water in here, and I'm going to go up to that kind of tree trunk stem thing. I'm not going to go on the other side of it yet. And I'm just going to wet the paper down, and we'll see what happens. So I'm going to come down here and just see if I can wet this all the way down to where this other part of this magazine image is. Right about where there's a stopping place, where these two almost touch right here. Not quite, but almost. And I'm going to add water on the rest of this little spot. There's not a lot of background area, but I need to do something to try to hide where I went outside the lines with my stencil butter here and here, where I got sloppy. Just to see, and the whole point of this is just to see what I can do to make it work. Kind of tie it together a little bit. It doesn't have to make sense, honestly. Nothing really has to make sense. It can be just fun for the sake of having fun. Okay. All right, so now let's see what happens. Let's see what happens if we just add a little bit of this crayon up here. And add a little bit more of the darker, a little darker blue up here. This is how you get to learn what your supplies will do, is to play with them in places where it doesn't matter, you know? It doesn't really matter how good this is, and we may come back and add some clouds and stuff. So I'm just adding and if I draw up on top of these flowers a little bit, you know, you just go, okay, okie doke. Okay, let's see what happens. these are water soluble, and so let's see how well they activate in this format. I did dampen the paper first. Those of you that were here on Monday, I told you about Milk Day. Did any of you laugh about Milk Day after that? I hope you did. I hope when you thought about it, it brought a smile to your face. Instead, it was actually Martin Luther King Day, but a couple kids were talking about the days that they had off on the school calendar, and they could not figure out why you would celebrate milk. The discussion went something like, are you supposed to drink milk? Why do you think you have to celebrate milk? You gotta hand it to kids. They say things just as they think it. Milk Day. And even after it was explained to them that it was Martin Luther King Day, they still went, oh, okay. So you're supposed to drink milk on Martin Luther King Day? No. Yeah, it went right over their heads. Right over the top of their heads. So I'm just activating with some water on top of damp paper here. And I'm going to let it be. Hopefully it will stay a little bit smudgy, because what I want to do is kind of give it a little bit of reason, and it looks much smudgier on the camera than it is in real life, believe it or not. Okay, so we're going to come down here, and there's a leaf I left out. Okay, all of this is pretty tiny in here, so I'm just going to dance a little bit of water in there. Just kind of dance a little bit of water in there. I'll deal with this edge over here in a minute. So let's put a little bit more of this. So one of the things about working with a crayon like this is that you can use, as long as there's still kind of a pointy end, you can kind of still, oh, there's a butterfly I missed too. You know? Sometimes you just have to shake your head at yourself and you go, could you not see that? Apparently not. Yesterday when I went to book club, it was just nice because all I did was just play. Okay, so what I just did here is I just dipped the crayon in the water. Just barely touched it in the water just to get it wet a little bit. So that works as well. All right, now I'm going to use more water with the brush, and let's just kind of blend this out. So these have more pigment than the pastels that I was using, so that's why I kind of switched to these. Because sometimes you want to go faster, and if you want to go faster, you got to use something that has a little more color in it, you know? Now, this is giving us a good smudgy look. So if I was after smudge, I definitely got it right in here. So all I'm trying to do is just get some color in the background. You know, in a perfect world, you would do the background first and then do the other stuff on top of it. But it's a little hard if you're going to add these colors of these tiny little things like the hearts and the butterflies and stuff. It's pretty hard to get that. to get the orange and the red and the yellows to show up. If you've already painted the background blue, that's going to be a lot more challenging. Okay, we kind of got some background in there. We'll let that sit a minute. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to put a little bit of water out here. And then we're going to add some color out here. And maybe add a little bit of this darker color up here at the top. Add a little more of the dark color over in this part. These really have a lot of pigment, so you get a lot of bang for your buck on these. And the tree trunk doesn't seem to be reactivating too much, so that's good. Okay, dance around up here a little bit. And then maybe we'll put in some, we'll dry this and then put in some clouds up here. And that will kind of help with some of the smudginess, I think. We'll find out. Yeah, they didn't do ink tints in more of a crayon form. I don't think they have. They just have the sticks and the pencils and the pans. I guess they figured that was enough, huh? Okay, let's get some white acrylic, some white acrylic paint, or some warm white. Do I have warm white out here? Whitewash. White. I may have used up all the warm white. I like warm white. All right, let's see if this paint is not craft acrylic paint. Yeah, sometimes is just none of it lasts. But the craft acrylics really don't last. All right. So we'll just use some white. If it's good. If it's not, we won't. All right, I'm going to paint out of the lid a little bit. I'm going to finger paint. It's a small group today. That's what happens when you don't do something exciting. That's all right. We have a small group today. It is so pretty outside here, I tell you what. So I'm going to finger paint in some clouds, okay? Just finger paint. I told you guys that I hope when I die that I get to be the cloud designer. That's my favorite. That's my favorite. I love clouds. I hope, don't get me wrong, I hope I don't die anytime soon, but you know. Got to be realistic when you get to a certain point in your life. You go, yeah, I'm a lot closer to that than I am to this. So I'm just going to make some fluffy, finger painty kind of clouds here. Again, the purpose of doing this is just to kind of camouflage some of the smudginess smudgy areas, and maybe we'll put a little bit of blue, because you know how sometimes the cloud color gets that great blue. So I'm just mixing colors on a paper towel, because why not? Why not? If you've never finger painted clouds, you should try it. Now, you get a mess on your fingers. That's part of the fun of it. And if you can imagine painting the clouds in the sky, actually doing the clouds, don't you imagine you'd have your hands in it and doing some really fun stuff with your hands? You know, you could go, I want a cloud here, and I want this kind of cloud there. Don't you think that would be fun? I think that would be a riot. Okay, so we got a few little cloud things there. Maybe we'll put a little bit more, mix a little bit more blue in with it again. And because the acrylic is kind of has a plastic sort of finish to it, if there's any of the stuff that's underneath it, that like the water-soluble stuff that wants to reactivate, once this dries on top of it, it is not going to move. Just think of when you get acrylic paint on your clothes, how hard it is to get acrylic paint to come out of your clothes. You ever have days where you're just like, man, I'm tired today? I think I'm coming across that way. I had a hard time getting up today for some reason. Man, I was tired. All right, we got kind of a cloudy-ish kind of sky going, good clouds with different colors going on up here. Kind of distorting some of the smudge factor that we had going on there. Hello, Sheila. Oh, Darla, that's funny. Hello, Janet. Good to see you. Wow. Jessica says she has some of her dad's Delta Ceramcoat paints from her dad from the late 90s. That's great. Yeah, Craft Smart only lasts yeah, some of it doesn't last very long at all. Janet, I hope you're doing well. Big hugs to you, or as well as you possibly can. Barbara's going line dancing in an hour. Yeah, Darla, last week I was the only one there. Today you were the only one there, huh? Yep, it is only Friday. The VIP class is happening. tomorrow. If all goes well and the creek doesn't rise, I'll be there tomorrow. I was there last week, did the whole class all by myself. The whole class all by myself. Turns out the emails didn't go out. Anyway, looked to me like everything was functioning right, but no, it didn't. All right, so let's put a little bit more down here. Let me get rid of what's on my fingers. Because once you get a certain amount of acrylic paint on your hands, then it can start pulling off. The wet acrylic paint, just like on the paper, it can activate the wet. The wet paint can activate the dry paint, and then it'll take it off your hands and just leave chunks of it on your surface. So, all right, let's go with a little bit more of the white. And maybe this time we'll put a little bit of whatever the lightest one of these is. This is Key West. I'm going to open that up and use a little bit of that. Just because we can. And I'm just painting out of the lids and the paper towel. So I'm blending on the paper towel with my finger. I really didn't plan to do it this way, but that's the way that it turned out. So, hey, we'll go with it. See what happens. So let's put a little bit of this in here. Again, just kind of letting some essence of clouds. You know what that is? That's the suggestion of something. That's the essence of something. So just let some little bits of this and that show up. Okay, and then maybe just to vary the color a little bit. Let's see if we can put a little bit over here. The hardest part, I think, when doing clouds is letting them have variety. It is so easy to all of a sudden have like these little balls of color, you know, the shape of your fingertip, if that's what you're working with. Or if you're working with like a Q-tip, another way that you can do clouds, you can do, you know, cotton swabs or Q-tips. And sometimes you can just get these just little, the shapes that are just too perfect. And so it's the most challenging part is to get variety, in my opinion. Okay, let's see if we can do a little bit over here just to kind of blend some of this. Just to get the texture to kind of spread across the page a little bit. Don't try and make it too perfect. It is just a little art journal page that we're just playing with. That was a bunch of tested products, and so now what we're trying to do is to turn them into something. that one of the things that I find in the book club group that I go to is that often people in the group, especially people who are new at doing this, well, and I'm not an expert. There's no expert here. I'm an expert at playing. That I can do all day long. I can play with stuff. Once I get started, then you just kind of keep going, you know. That's the fun. That's the fun of art journaling, is you're just playing with things, testing things, seeing what shows up, you know. And if all else fails, put some snark on the page, you know. Okay. And again, it would be infinitely easier if the background went in first, then the stamping. But there's not much way to do that with stamping. You pretty much have to put if you want the stamps to be certain colors, you really need to stamp them first and then mask them off and then put in your background around them. That's how stamping works. Not easy. People who are expert stampers, my heart and my hand goes, or my hat goes off to you, because it is not an easy thing to do, in my opinion. Okay, so we have a background in, basically, and we've kind of blended out some of that smudge stuff that was looking pretty bad in the background. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just cap all the acrylic paints. Ooh, had a tooth pulled. Oh, Christy, use some ice on you. Ice helps with swelling usually, unless they tell you to do something different. Okay, let me get rid of get the acrylic paint off of my hand. So Darla's working on some stitching. What are the rest of you guys doing? And maybe we'll play with some of this over here too, huh? Okay, how about let's put some color in these little, I don't know, whatever they are, blossom things. So let's pull out the chalks again. So these are water-soluble chalk pastels. And these are from the company Charvin, C-H-A-R-V-I-N. So let's put some, since I'm kind of trying to stay with, yeah, these need to go in a different situation. They're just not giving me enough pigment. So in that case, I'm going to go back to these, the watercolor. What do you guys do when you're in a stressful situation? What is your go-to? Do you do creativity? Do you eat? That's what a lot of us do. When you're in the midst of a stressful whatever, do you eat? Are you tempted to resort to too many glasses of wine? Easy to do. Are you tempted to get out your art supplies and do some art journaling? Do you read? Do you watch TV? What do you do when things are pretty stressful for you? What do you do? Whoop, little painty goodness there. We now have a little sunshine in our sky right here. See if we can blend it in. That's actually a good idea. That's actually not a bad idea. So we'll just drop in a little bit of sunshine here in our clouds. Or do you go for a walk, or you go to the gym? What do you do? Does it immobilize you or energize you, or what does stress do to you, do for you, do to you? Are you more productive or less productive? Can you see the little bit how we took a mistake, which was right there where I dropped the crayon? And then that gave me the idea of, oh, need a little sunshine. That might be a little too much sunshine right there. That's okay. It might be really sunny in that part of the landscape. So we'll add a little more sunshine right here. Huh? I don't know if you can see all the sunshine, but it's got some sunshine coming through. I like that. That was a really good, happy accident. I don't know whether you guys can see that or not, but I like that happy accident. Panic attacks. Oh, hi, Julie. Oh, Artsy Mama 5. Good. I'm glad you're here. Welcome, welcome. YouTube videos mostly. Artsy Mama does gets more productive. Some people, it renders people, still. They can't do anything. And other people, it's very energizing. It's real interesting how people deal with stressful situations. Set it. Oh, girls' night out. That's a good idea. I want to come party with you, Alicia. Okay, let's do some more of these. There was a butterfly I missed right there. We need to stick that butterfly in. Maybe what we'll do with that little butterfly, since he's so tiny, maybe that little itsy bitsy butterfly, instead of itsy bitsy spider, it's itsy bitsy butterfly. Maybe what we'll do with that little butterfly is make him very blue. Whoops. And not with that, because that was going to make him green, because my water brush had yellow in it. So let's see if we can make this little. I have to come back with a pen and detail that little butterfly a little bit more, but he's kind of hanging in there. Okay, let's put. There's some blue, I don't know, spots or something around this. And maybe we'll add some blue spots around these a little bit. They may turn green because some of them have yellow. But we've got some green down here, so that's okay. Have some little. Not everything has to be the same. I'm just barely touching the paper. And I'm picking up the pigment directly from the crayon. Okay. And we have a little leaf here that I missed. So let's put a little green here in that leaf. All right, what else should we do? Maybe we'll put a little bit of green in here with the blue. Give the suggestion of leaves a little bit, and so it kind of blends with some of these other ones that had a lot of green on them also. A little green going on, because they are kind of leafy looking. All right, and then we need to put some background in these hearts over here. Maybe we'll use a more of an orange, yellow orange instead of the yellow. So they're bigger and a little brighter, and so we'll put a little brighter color since they are bigger shapes. Dance a little bit of this color out into these bubbly sections. And maybe on this other one we'll do this a real bright yellow, brighter yellow. Here we got even a bright, lighter, brighter, more lemon yellow. Let's see what this one does. Since it's the biggest shape, we'll put the brightest color. And then let's take that orange yellow, maybe the orange. See if we can drop a little bit of that in and see if that will kind of blend on its own since it's wet. The more area that you have to cover, the more you can blend it, the more colors you can add in. So I'm just adding a little bit of this color over here just for, you know, something a little bit different. Also, I'm still kind of blending out some of those boo-boos in the background. Okay. All right. It's not looking too bad. It's not looking too bad. All right. What else do we have in here? We always have to put some birds flying in the background. And we probably should put some color around these flowers. This is still kind of damp here. Maybe we'll put some color in the center of these. Man, glasses are killing my nose today. What in the world is that about? Let's put some orange centers in these flowers right here. Again, because what I'm working with here on purpose is opposites on the color wheel. Complementary colors, blue and orange. That is the purpose of this, is working with the complementary colors. You will dribble a little bit of that coming out away from the center, like pollen dots spilling out. Just a couple of dots here and there. And because the stencil butter is really glossy, this could rub off. And you know, if it does, it does. That's an oops, oh well kind of moment, like Dina Wakley says. An oops, oh well. Okay, so let's see, what else do we need to do? We need to work on this little flower right here, because that's one I made up. I know you can't tell that. I just drew those petals in an effort to camouflage what was going on underneath it. So let's see if we can, let's use a different color. It's got a little more contrast in it. Okay, and then let's see if we can blend this just a little bit. And maybe a little bit more on this one, because it's really, we'll just add a little bit more. We'll just do a dib dabble, just a little dib dabble. What is it? APG Jamie says she dobbles up. That's when she's soaking up something off the page. She dobbles things up. I just kind of dib dabble around. And then just kind of let the water and the pigment just do their own thing. That is very hard for me to do. It's very hard for me to let this stuff do its own thing and sit and wait and wait for it to dry and stuff. That is so hard for me to do, because I would far rather try to control the outcome. It's kind of like I am with life, to be quite honest with you. Yeah, don't you hate it when you discover things like that about yourself? Oh man, is that how I really am? The answer is yes. Okay, how about a dark green? I don't have a real good dark green. This is as dark as I've got. I'm going to use this green to put like the part of the flower that the petals are coming out of. We'll stick this down here. Good thing I don't have to go out any place tonight, because I've got paint all over my hands. I'm going to put a little bit of black at the very kind of the side bottom of that, and see if it will just kind of, probably isn't going to blend very much. I'm going to have to help it because it's not doing what I want it to do. Here we go. Now I've got it super dark, so I'm going to, this is where I play back and forth. I go, too dark, put in some light. Too light, put in some dark. Any of you do that? Bye, Darla. Good to see you. Okay, so let's add some, we have the outside kind of scallopy sections around these little whatever they are. So let's make them look more like, I don't know what. How about some orange around them? Okay, here we go. And this is what I'm doing, is just trying to tie things together on the page. Okay, so I'm trying to tie this to these and sprinkle around the page the various colors so that your eye will move around the page. And the entire purpose of this page is just to see if we can make this entire mishmash of stuff kind of work together, right? So I'm just barely touching the page just to get some color on there. Okay, and then we'll do this on this one. And then maybe a teensy little bit of this around this part of the center of this flower where these blue things are. Okay, just a little bit of that. And just kind of and maybe a little bit of this real super bright yellow in here. Okay. And then we've got this over here. Let's see if this real bright yellow, see if it shows up. It may not. If it doesn't, we'll put another color on it. It'll show, but as far as like the contrast with the center of the flower, I'd like to have a different color, like that. I'm going to add a little bit of this bright yellow to these leaves, which are muckledy duck green brown. Ugh. See what that does when it dries. Okay. All right. I don't see anything else here that I really totally just completely missed. It's kind of coming together. It doesn't look too bad, you know, for an art journal page that wasn't meant to be. Yeah, for an art journal page that wasn't meant to be, it's not too bad. Yeah, we'll just let that kind of sit and we'll just let it sit and cogitate a little bit. Shall we do something over here? Shall we do something else in a different book? Maybe in a different book. I do like this with the blue and the orange. That is a complementary color scheme. That was the whole purpose of this. Is a complementary color scheme, the blue and the orange, and they're bright and cheerful. And I kind of like it. Yeah, kind of like that. Let's take a look at one of these other art journals I have open. That is a piece of something that had glue on it. Let's see if we can get it off. There we go. Okay, so we'll just stick this over here out of the way. And let's look through this art journal. I have several art journals out today. Bye, Janet. Good to see you. So this is an old journal from 2020, back before the pandemic happened. That is Miss Muppet on the front cover. That is the same image as this was that we worked on Monday night. So same image, but this one's done in fabric. I still haven't tied off all the ends of the stitching. Same image, except this is done more realistically in her color palette. So there is that. Let's just go through here and see if we can find some places that we might add something. So what I was doing in this page was, or in this book, was just doing artwork on the right side, as you can see, artwork on the right, and a quote on the left. The great man or woman is the one who never loses his child's heart. My favorite big loopy flowers. This is a Dina Wakley art journal. So there's all different kinds of surfaces in it. This is burlap with paper napkin, and this is a stencil, and then just some words glued on top of it. Our real journey in life is interior. If you've not listened to this song, At This Table, it's one of the best songs out there. Highly recommend that you do. This is the back side of the burlap. Some of this is mixed media paper, some of it's watercolor paper, and some of it is craft paper. And there's also muslin, and there's also canvas in this book. So it has quite the challenge. It's fun. This is canvas. It is fun, but it is challenging working on those different surfaces when you're not used to it. So this is bits and pieces of punches, I think. I think I used punches on this to create mandalas, and then just added different embellishments with markers and pens and stuff. This is all collaged together from calendar pages. So the cats one, these are another, this is another piece. The books are another calendar page, and all the flowers are a collage from the calendar pages. And then the spots I punched out of the calendar. And this surface is watercolor paper, I think. And this was just a collage of stuff I cut out of a grocery store ad. And it says, surround yourself with tacos, not negativity. There you go. I'm strong and brave. My imperfections are my strength, not my weaknesses. I will meet any challenge with guts. Man, I had no idea what that was done in 02/28/2020. That was definitely foreshadowing of what was going to happen to my life a few months later. These are ruffles made of paper. This is one. This is done with deli paper, deli wrap. Somebody asked me what deli paper is, and it is the kind of paper that you get sandwiches wrapped in. Or if you go to the deli counter in a grocery store, they'll put like lunch meat and stuff like that. They'll put the deli paper on the scale, then they'll put the lunch meat on it before they weigh it. So that's another thing of deli paper. People ask me what that is. It's a translucent it's often referred to as a dry wax paper. So that's what it is. This is using different metallic paints from this one. Cash in your karma, treat yourself. So this was just making a door with a peekaboo. These are mandalas that I think I cut out of one of my, I think I cut those out of something. I mean, they're my mandalas. I recognize. I think I might have cut them out of one of the color books that I did. Anyway, oh, look, and it is another photo gallery. Yes, there's always a photo gallery of goofy relatives in every journal. Oh, hi, Dana. Oh, you went to Starbucks. Good for you. Yeah, so these all need... they all need to have names, and they need to have, so they're on their gallery wall, but I don't know who they are. But I'm finding that many times the faces repeat themselves. Not always, but it is very common for me to have some of these expressions show up in multiple. No matter how many times I do them, they'll show up again and again. And I saw some of them today, but I'm not sure where I put my... Oh, here they are. So these were some I worked on a few weeks ago. The others I've already stuck in a journal. But see how they do tend to resemble each other. So they are family. I mean, there is no getting around the fact that these people here are related to these people here. There's no getting around it. Yeah, here's more of them, and you'll see more of them that relate to each other. They're just funny. It goes this way. Oh, I set this down in paint. Oh, he got paint on his face. It's a good thing I can do more of them, isn't it? Anyway, yeah. So there's always a photo gallery of goofy relatives in every journal. You'd think I like doing those. These were leftovers to add to. This was when the pandemic happened and we were all scared we were going to run out of everything. And so I started making her using just bits and pieces of magazine images and just creating a body using the various magazine images, hoarding various things. So she's hoarding asparagus and shampoo, and she's got a bag that has bananas and peanut butter and stuff in it. But then I have other things to glue on this page. Toilet paper, remember that? Here's more grocery things that I just never cut out and put on there. So much more, yeah, reminiscent of when we were all scared because we were going to run out of toilet paper and Kleenex. And this was that Picasso, what was it? Roll of Picasso. Yeah. So we rolled a dice or did random.org or something and rolled the dice and then made this absolutely, totally insane looking Picasso-esque face and then glued a bunch of crap on top of it. Yep. That is probably one of the less attractive things I've ever done, hence the thing that's paper clipped over the top of it. This, I love this page about balance. This is from a poster that I have up in my office room. And so this was all the things that I was trying to balance at that point in time. Balance is not something you find, it's something you create. Indeed, this came from one of the Mandala Madness cards, and this is the background, or one of the Zentangle patterns that I absolutely love. Homage to hoarding, isn't it? Yes. Some of these are paper towels, like this is paper towel back here. This colorful thing, that's a paper towel. You can tell by the texture of it. And it's also paper towel that has on alcohol ink, so it has a totally different look than a lot of the other things. You like that Picasso? I think it is but ugly. Ugh. But thank you, Barbara. That's my dad. The earth speaks in flowers, and so did my dad. And this was from one of his color slides that he did. And so I took, or maybe that was the whole picture. That may have been the whole, that was the whole picture. He was in a greenhouse. And then I painted over it, over the flowers, using various markers and paints and stuff. And yeah, I don't know what I did in the background. I don't remember. Anyway, what's around the edge of this is an old zipper. So that's what's around it, is zipper. Oh, was it, Sherry? You will not run out of tea tree for a long time, Julie. Good job. Good job. I'm not going to run out of thieves' oil either. This was another burlap page. Otters hold hands when they sleep to stop from drifting apart. Just think about that cuteness today to keep your spirits up. Isn't that the truth? This is done using craft paper and one of those crinkly tools that everybody used to use. You like that, Peggy? Yeah, that's a good one. And what's in the background on this too is like these roses. Those were some of his images, and that peony, those were images that I printed off on my color printer. This is using one of those crinkly, like a tube squeezer, except it does crinkles. And so I rolled the craft paper through that and then cut out the flowers and put them on here. This was a stencil to make the bowl. That's a bowl right there, in case you couldn't tell. And everything has to have, it's wallpaper spots. Yes, indeed. Aw, Chance. It's Chance's portrait. I love these. These were things, this was something Ann Lahr said. Ann Lahr is one of my mods here, and she also streams. It's ANNELAHR. She streams on Wednesday afternoons or mornings, I forgot which, and Sunday afternoon. I taught you to keep calm during COVID. I taught you how to get your art supplies online. Oh, good. Excellent. I have never been shy about enabling people. Anyway, she said, Father, she said, forgive me, for I have purchased. She did not say, Father, forgive me. She just said, forgive me, for I have purchased. That was one of her quotes one time, which I thought was hysterical, so I wrote it out. Here's another one. The grandmother says, what are you drawing? The granddaughter says, I don't know. I'm not finished yet. I love that. And Laura from New Jersey, those of you that remember Laura, she used to stream a lot. I don't know if she still streams or not, but she was an avid streamer there for a while during COVID. And she says, one time when she was streaming, she says, I've got to quit collecting garbage. She was collecting, it was during the days of everybody was really into recycling everything, because I think we were all afraid we were going to run out of supplies and we were going to run out. So we just had to start doing junk journaling avidly. Yeah, you got to use it for sure. So that was Chance. That was creating a portrait based on a line drawing of Chance. So I think this came from a photograph, as I remember. A photograph of him that I then made. I made a line drawing of him and then painted him. And I recreated him in multiple ways. So there's that one. Here's another one. Same image, created in a different way. This is using tissue paper and paint and stuff, but this is the same, and this is tissue paper down here. Same image. So that's Chance. This was the original one. Ann Lahr is on Wednesday mornings at 12 Eastern and Sundays at what? I can't see it because part of my chat thing is over it. I'll have to wait till somebody I'll write test so it'll move up. Otherwise I can't see. At 5 Eastern. Okay. So Wednesday morning at 12 Eastern and Sunday at 5 Eastern. Yeah, she's a lot of fun to watch. So that was Chance. This one, clearly nothing. This was about using scraps. So it's just using scraps to make, it's kind of a snippet roll kind of idea, but it's how to use scraps and turn them into your own fabric trims. So this is all done with the sewing machine, making those. This is the Phoenix, which is a personal symbol of mine. And this is Charlie. Aw, Charlie boy. Yeah, so this was the line drawing of Charlie. I did all three of the animals. I did Chance, Charlie, and Muppet. So there is Charlie boy. and they all had to have glasses, and they all had different costume things. So Chance had a bow tie. Charlie had a shirt collar and a purple spotted tie, but they all have glasses. And then Muppet, of course, Miss Muppet had to have glasses and pearls, beads. She had red beads and red bead earrings, of course, because she's a girl. So there was the line drawing from Chance that I took, or Charlie, sorry, I took from this, and then I added a Christmas hat to him and turned him into this, which became my Christmas card that year. And so that's painted on the canvas page. And I loved him. Yes, I loved how he turned out. Yes, Barbara Clark made a mask out of Chance's image. She did. It was adorable. I did love this. Of course, I like the colors. I like this. Do you see the common theme? If I am told to use complementary colors, do you see what my go-to is? It's the same. This and this. It's always blue and orange. But it's going to be not true orange or true blue. I'm going to always lean it toward the aqua and the yellow-orange. Yeah. This is more of the trims made using scraps and then stitched onto the page. And I think that might have been all there was in this book. Yeah. So there's that. We'll go through this other one real quickly, and then maybe we'll just call it a day. Shall we? Shall we go through this? Because it's been a long enough day that, yeah, we can accomplish some stuff. Maybe we'll find a good quote to go on that other page. We'll look through the snark and see if we can find a good quote for that. A good snark quote for that other page that we did. These butterflies on this one, these are cut out, die cut from denim. And this is a Tim Holtz die. I don't know that you can still get it, but it's a Tim Holtz die that I also came with an embossing folder. And so I put it through the embossing folder and rubbed ink over it before I glued it down. So the embossing is gone at this point, but while it was there briefly, I inked it. And these are, what are those called that he has? They're the little individual dies, but they'll cut the heavy stuff. Yeah, there's a name for them, but it's not coming to me right now. And I just put those through some random embossing folder. This one I used acrylic paint on, and not as successfully as the inks, but you know, too bad, so sad. This is a journal that I made, and it's made using, the cover is upholstery fabric. The trim I made myself on the sewing machine. And inside here is plastic, I think, to give it some beef. Yeah, I love those butterflies too. I sure do. This is my attempt at regular collage using this paper pad, which I forgot the name of. This was a piece of jelly printed canvas. I love this image. Clearly I was in need of color after a winter. So color your world. Maybe that's the name of that paper pad. The elephants in color. Spring is here. Yes, yes. And this, I just glued a bunch of stuff in here. Just a whole bunch of stuff that was from my scrap box. These are paste papers. This is who knows what. Just a whole bunch of scraps on here. This is literally a bunch of scraps. Nothing has been done to this. Just scraps glued on top of scraped paint. Same thing here and here. This is paste paper. These are stickers that actually have a lot of texture. They have bead gel textures on that. It's kind of fun just to glue stuff in. Oh, look, another photo gallery. Yep, I'm telling you that the same faces show up again and again. This guy is probably the dad of that one. Don't you think? Don't you think? Let's see. Oh, I don't know. This guy might be the dad of that one. I don't know. It's hard to say. Anyway, and this one is Friends Are God's Apology for Your Family. And this was one of those snarky things. If you knew my family, you would understand. This was an exercise from some class I did. And it was putting two images together to see if you could make them go together. And so these are two completely different magazine images put together. And then I never did finish it. Anyway, it's fun to do, though. You should try that. I know, Shu. I know, the sponsors. This is when I was starting to do, I was using, this is Race's puppy, Bella, when she was a baby. And so I was going to paint her portrait. That was as far as I got that day. So that was using different kinds of tissue papers and textured papers. And then I drew her eyes and her nose, because if Dorothy's still here, Dorothy cannot stand not to have the eyes done. So I did the eyes that day for Dorothy rather than finish out her head. That was just for Dorothy. So there are more of the painty papers from my scrap box. More. This is that paper towel that has alcohol inks on it. And these are just various things. I love this. This is a brain and a brain stem made with all different kinds of colorful, color-coated wires. And I love that image. And this was a card from my granddaughter. She called me Mom. That was so sweet. And chocolate. This must have been around Valentine's Day that I saved all this stuff. Yeah. You can't tell that I overeat when I'm stressed, can you? I love this. I love the way that looks. It's one of those colorful stack cakes that's got a surprise inside filled with candy. Not that I like candy, but I like that. Dee Dee Willingham sent this to me. I thought that was great. And that is the image of Miss Bella that I was using. I think that might be all. I don't think I did anything else. There's some other just glued in bits and pieces. So it's a good, a lot of it is just starting off places, So most of these other pages in the front, these backgrounds like this, those all started with the same thing that I did on these. So it's just a bunch of scraps glued on and then painted in between. So anyway, it's a good way to do a journal. And yeah, so these were all signatures done with mixed media paper, I believe, and then stitched together with a pamphlet stitch. This is someplace on YouTube because I did this on stream a long time ago. Anyway, I think we'll just call it a day because really and truly, we were going to look for a quote for this. Yeah, let's look for a quote. And what this was a canvas that I did. This whole thing was a canvas that I did. And then I saw the Mariotier do this, where she had a canvas that she painted, and then she took the canvas off the stretcher bar and cut it up and put it on a journal. And I'm like, that is just brilliant. I did the same thing. So I didn't need another canvas for the wall. And so I cut this off, cut it out, stitched it on, and it became the front of my journal. That was like the best. That's one of those moments where you go, duh, why didn't I think of that? Oh, goodness. Didn't think of it. Not for 1 second did I think about doing that until I saw her do it. And now I can't get it out of my head. It's like, this is the best idea ever. Yep. I have lost the cap to my water brush somewhere in all of this mess that I am currently living in. It's a blank book. Yes, it is. Yes, that one, that brain should be, this is your brain on art. That is so true. That is so true. Okay, let me put these art supplies away. I have a big, huge mess on my desk. Okay, go to line dancing. Thanks for being here, Barbara. It's always good to have you here. Always, always, always. Thank you for being here with us. Okay, I'm just going to quickly stick these back in. Just quickly stick these back together. And then what we'll do is, let's see if we can find something, find a, I don't know why I have to put things back in their slip covers. It's a, I don't know. I was going to say it's a sickness, but I don't know that it's a sickness, but it sure is something I have to do. I'm sure Janet M. Young would understand. I'm sure she would understand why, and probably somebody could explain to me why it is I have to do that. I do not know where the lid to my water brush went. It must be lurking on the floor someplace. Oh well, we'll find it later. Okay, let's look through the look through these, see if we can find some little something that's appropriate for this page right here. Okay, let's see if we can find something. I went a little too close. And always when you do your art journal pages like this, do sign and date them. Do sign and date them. But can you see how the sunshine showed through? You can see it, little sunshine in the clouds. And I think I was pretty successful in camouflaging where I had really screwed up and slopped the stencil butter outside. I may still add some more stuff to this, but let's see if we can find some words for it. Hello, Annette. I think I'm getting back in the swing, but you never know. Okay, small talk. This is snarky, the snarky stuff. All right, let's look in the black pages because those are the ones I tend to go to. All right, let's see if we can find something. Me, sarcastic? Never. Who left the bag of idiots open? Shh, no one cares, said no one ever. Oh, I need a 6-month vacation twice a year. You know what? That's probably what I'm going to put on there because I'm getting ready to go on the longest vacation I have ever been on in my entire life. So, yeah, let's put this one on there to commemorate that. All right. Okay, I'm going to cut this up and try to keep it in order. I will lightly stick these on here just so I have it. Okay, twice a year. 6-month vacation. Seems like that would just go kind of like that. It's not going to be 6 months that I'm going to be gone, but I think it's going to feel that way. I think it could feel that way. Okay, so how about I need a 6-month vacation twice a year. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to, maybe. Maybe I'll just leave all that open up there. Okay, let's put a little bit of ink around the edges because these tend to have white edges on them. And probably what I'll do is I'll add some glue because I don't ever trust the adhesive on this. On these stickers, I don't think that they last. And I think we'll call it good, huh? Anybody agree with this, that you could be on vacation? You know, there's some people that live on cruise ships because they think it's cheaper than having an apartment or a house. I don't know if that's true. Anybody think that's true? Yeah, I think Janet is the best at snark. She is the best. Okay, so let's put a little glue on this. A little bit of tacky glue will help. So let's kind of overlap this. And I'm going to let them be at a jaunty angle. How about that? A jaunty angle. Because this is kind of a wonky page, so we should let the snark be kind of wonky as well. Okay, I need a vacation, a 6-month vacation, twice a year. And I'll see if there's anything else in here that I just have to add. See if we have any big words that we can put up here. We could put attitude. We could put the word important. That'll work. Like important announcement. We'll stick that up in the sky up at the top just because it just feels like it needs something else up there. Shall we? Why not? The lid on my glue is stuck again. I'm not sure that I could either. I'm pretty sure I couldn't. All right, we'll just stick that up there. I said I was going to leave all that sky alone, but you know what? I just decided no. I'll stick it right there. This is important. I need a 6-month vacation twice a year. And there you have. And there you have my art journal page, which is a whole bunch of stuff. I could still add to it because that's the way I am. Nothing is ever totally sacred. This little butterfly needs an outline. There's some other things, but I'm going to let everything get really, 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 really dry before I do that. And we just took a whole bunch of stuff that was tested, you know, and then tried to make it all go together, and it's good enough. Yeah, it's good enough. Purpose of art journaling is what? Just to do whatever you want to do. There is no purpose to an art journal. I did a video on art journaling. This is years and years ago. And it was called What is Art Journaling? And it's here on the channel. And I had the lid to the water brush. Thank you. I had somebody, more than one person. This was back when art journaling was kind of I don't know that it was ever a really phenomenon, but at the time it was kind of new, I guess, on YouTube. I don't know, kind of newish. Anyway, had people say, what is the purpose of this art journaling? Why would you do that? And it's like, my answer to that is why not? My answer to that is why not? It doesn't have to have a reason. Just the act of creating is enough. Okay? Just being creative is enough. Creativity grows. The more you use it, the more it happens. The more if you use your creative muscles, they will get stronger. You do not have to have a reason to be creative. Just do it. Okay? Doesn't matter. All right, you guys, I'm going to go. It is time for us to say goodbye for today. I'll be back on Monday and Friday of next week, and then I will be gone until the 15th of March. Okay? So I will see you Monday night. VIP members, any of you that are here, we have our class tomorrow. This time it's for real. This time it's for real. It's not just a fake. Anyway, I will see you when I see you. Thanks for being here. Remember to get creative today because you know it's easy. I just showed you. It's easy. You got fingers, you can make clouds. You can make a whole beautiful sky. And I forgot to put some birds in the sky, but I can do that later. We'll come back and put birds on it sometime. Because you know you got to put a bird on it. All right, I'll see you guys later. Bye for now.